chapter 24. Matthew chapter 24. Where we're going to be today. When I was a young man, I went to a very, I was up at 13, 14. I went to a very conservative church, okay? Like drums were evil, like a devil's instrument. And so every once in a while, I hear like a talk by a youth pastor, and I would like be convinced that all rock and roll was evil, and I'd break all my CDs. I broke one CD probably 4 times my whole high school career. I'd break it, then I'd be like, what have I done? I'd buy it again. And it was Tom Petty's Greatest Hits. I bought the album 4 times in high school. And one of my favorite songs by Tom Petty was a song called The Waiting. And in the chorus of that song says, the waiting is the hardest part. That is the name of my sermon today. The waiting is the hardest part. Now, I remember when I first met my wife. And I got to know her over time. I actually befriended her father before her. Me and her father became real close. And him and I began praying together and becoming friends. I noticed he had a daughter, and she was single. And it became I was like, this is all happening. So one day, I did some boldness and some bravery, and I called her. And I'm like, listen, I've been seeing you. And if I think about what I wanted in my life and who I want to walk in this world with, like, you're it. You are incredible. I basically said to her, I said this crazy thing. I said, verbatim, I said, I like being around you. I want to be around you more. And I'll go wherever that leads, because that feels part. That was my opening volley. Was like, listen, if you'll have me, let's get married. And she's like, I don't know you. I'm not sure that's fair. The fair. So, over the next year, I knew, I'm like, this is the girl. She's like, I don't know if you're the guy. So I had to, for a year, prove that I was. She had to know that just marrying someone's a big deal. And she's like, I want to marry a chump and lose my life. So we started hanging out together. And I was already all in. From day one, I loved her. I was all in. And she didn't know if she liked me yet. I'd ask her dad, I'm like, am I wrong? She talked about me? He's like, no, man. Oh, man. Like, I had very little to go. I was walking by faith for a long time. Well, she told me, she's like, we're not boyfriend, girlfriend. She said, I'm not giving you, we're not going to act like boyfriend, girlfriend until there's commitment. Until I know that I care for you, we're just friends. There's no snuggling, there's no cuddling, there's no hand-holding, there is nothing. The waiting is the hardest part. And so, one night we're hanging out together talking, it's late. Parents go to sleep, we're in the great room of the tree farm. There's a fireplace, big old picture windows looking forth outside, crickets chirping, you can't create a romantic atmosphere, okay? And we're talking, and it's a good conversation. It's just sweet. It's good, and my heart is just enveloped in like I love her so much. And I decide, I'm like, the capstone for this beautiful evening, we should hold hands, and that would make this night the greatest night I've ever had in my life. And so I as a gentleman, I'm like, there's a calm moment of pausing the conversation. I'm like, can I hold your hand? And it was perfect. It was said so. It was good. It was sweet. I thought this can is up. And it was silent. I think she was feeling it too. But she told me the rules. Until we tell us commitment, there's nothing. So I asked her, and there's a silence, and she's like, no. Just nothing, just a wall. I sit there, and you're embarrassed, And I'm like, I gotta go. I'm glad I left. I drove 90 minutes south, just embarrassed and like, you blew it. No, but that was a tough season. The waiting was a tough season for us. Look, I loved her, I desired her, but until we had made a covenant before God, ain't nothing happened. So that waiting time was a tough thing, And we're talking today about waiting for something else, okay? We have been in a very unique part of the Bible. Matthew 24, Jesus is talking about the end of the world. His disciples asked him, like, when is the end of the world? What are the signs of your return? They asked him straight up. He's like, I'll tell you some stuff. And he's shared a lot over the last few weeks. We've gone through some of his teaching. And today, we come to kind of the culminations of his teaching. We begin in verse 36. Jesus says these words, but concerning that day and that hour, no one knows. Jesus already told them he's going to come back today. When he comes back, he's going to gather his people to himself. When he comes back, the universe will literally stop spinning. When Christ returns, all that we know, everything that's been marred and destroyed and infected by sin, will finally, fully be burned out. And Christ will make all things new. When he comes in glory and power, and every knee bows, and every tongue confesses that he is the Lord. So he's revealed, it's like when I come back, man, stars fall from the heavens, man. Like the mountains shake when I return. And they're like, okay, so when? He goes, nobody knows, man. But concerning that day and hour, no one knows. Not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. Listen, when I come, it's you stop on everything we've ever known. The world that we experience stops when Christ returns. When does it happen? Listen, we don't know when the waiting will end. Right now, we are waiting for him to return. There is inside every one of us a desire for Christ to come and make things right. Whenever you experience injustice, whenever you see evil people with power oppress the weak without power, there's this feeling in our heart, Lord, when are you going to put that guy down? When will you come and make the evil things stop? I think you've had that desire. I've had it. I've seen evil people do evil things and like, Lord, why don't you smoke that fool? Like, I want the Lord to come and shake the world. We all wondered, when, God? When will you come and stop the evil and the powerful from crushing the weak and the poor? We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how long we have to wait. We have no idea when the waiting will end. Nobody, and if someone says they know, you know right away they're wrong. Almost every single great preacher or great pastor, Christian leader, has predicted the end of the world. Billy Graham has done it. A couple of popes did it. People swing the bat at the end of the world all the time. Guess what every single person who has ever swung has in common? They're all wrong. If someone goes like here on YouTube and some guys on YouTube going, I figured it out, I did the Bible math, and he's coming back like July 18th, 2024. Like, if someone does that, you know he's lying, he's crazy. Don't send him money. Don't subscribe to his channel. He's wrong. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Listen, it says the angels of heaven don't know. It says the Son himself, Christ himself, does not know. Only the Father knows this. Only the first person of the Trinity, God the Father, knows when this will happen, and none of us know. So when someone tries to freak you out because of some foreign war, don't let them get your feathers in a ruffle. Nobody knows, okay? And that's tough, though. I'll tell you why it's tough. Listen to this. So nobody knows. Verse 37. For as were the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. He's comparing his return to the flood. For as in those days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day when Noah entered the ark. And they were unaware until the flood came and swept them all away. So will be the coming of the Son of Man. Noah's built an ark, built a huge boat, and everyone thinks he's nuts. And everyone's just living their life. Everyone's eating, drinking, doing their job. And when the flood comes, no one's ready. No one sees it coming. There's no signs in the heavens. It just happens. It surprises everyone. And for us, it's going to be the same way. We're not going to see this thing coming. It's just going to happen. We're like, it's all true. He is back. We don't know how long we have to wait. But the waiting is really hard, isn't it? I don't know what we got. My wife and I got engaged. So we get engaged to be married. Nothing too romantic. We were in my mom's basement. That's where I lived. I had no room. I went to college. My mom got a house and I went to college. So I never had a room in my mom's house. She bought a house right when I was leaving. I was like, thanks, Mom. So I go away. I come home, there's a bed in the basement. Not even rooms or walls, a bed amidst all these piles of boxes. And I'm like, I guess it's where I live. But Angie came to see me. I proposed to her, gave her a ring. And here's, I don't want to tell you. So I don't want to embarrass her point. We didn't kiss until I gave her the ring. I got on one knee, ring. She said yes, but ow. First kiss, electricity. It was awesome. And we were engaged for 4 months, real short. Because I knew once I kissed this girl, I have 4 months. I can be a good person. At this much time, I can restrain the passion. That's all I got. That's a really sad one, I guess, but it's true. But that waiting, that 4 months of waiting, there were times we'd get together hanging out. I'd leave, and my muscles were sore from the amount of restraint I could hold back. That waiting, because I couldn't wait to live together. Because every time she would go home and leave me, and I'm like, I miss you already. So this time's going to come where she's going to go home anymore. We're home, it's us together. I couldn't wait. But I had to wait. And that waiting was a tough time. Now for us, we believe in Jesus. We believe they're coming back. But when? We don't know. So we've got to wait. And that waiting, that long time of waiting is hard. Because here it's hard for us to live in two places. It's hard for us to be a citizen of heaven, but live on earth. As Jesus Christ once said, no man can have two masters. You would love the one and hate the other. For many of us, we eat, we drink, we do our life, and we begin to think that this is home. And we stop waiting. Because this life is so long, it's very easy to lose focus. It's very easy. I'll give that a little bit. So, here's what we got. So, everyone's just doing their thing. The flood comes, wipes everyone away, and only Noah's ready. No one else is ready. It says this, then 2 men will be in a field. One will be taken, and one left. 2 women will be grinding at the mill. One will be taken, and one left. Now, this means to show that when it happens, it's sudden and it's surprising. People are just doing their jobs, living their life. And listen, while we wait, we still have to work. There's a church in the Bible called Thessalonica, and this church believes Christ is coming back any day now. And people start working, start selling all their land. He's going to come back any day. They're sitting around waiting for him. And Paul's got to go back to that church and go, guys, go get your job back and stop being weird. You got to be a person in the world. You got to go to work, provide for your family. And as people in the world, we do have to live here, okay? We have to pay bills. We have to do listen, the church, we have a ministry office now, the office across the street. And I got a call yesterday, or whenever it was, Thursday. They're like, you're late on a bill. I'm like, I don't have any bills. And they're like, you get internet, don't you? I'm like, yeah, but the church has internet. It's like, you got to pay for that. I'm like, oh, it's true. I do got to pay for this. So they came set it up and didn't charge. I didn't get a bill from them, nothing. But I owed them a bunch of money because I never paid the bill. But as living here, I got to pay the monthly bills. I got to go to work and make money, provide for family. In this picture, people are at work doing their thing, and Christ returns in the middle of the workday. unexpected. People are just they're being faithful to their responsibility when Christ returns. So, we don't know how long we have to wait. We're waiting. It's a long walk, but we keep on waiting. You know what it's like? It's like having a baby. Like, we know it's going to happen. We don't know when, right? Like, our kid was so late. Like they think the baby was born this day. It didn't happen. And that whole, 3-month, last trimester thing, right? You're prepared, right? You have a bag by the door. You guys do that emergency bag? Yeah, you know, right? You have your bag.
I'm not ready.
We got to get the bag. We got to get the bag. There's a bag, what's in the bag? Like diapers, extra clothes, deodorant, the bag's ready to go. And the thing is, that whole few months before the baby's born, and he said, you know this, it's like, you go to work, and you're like, is it going to be today? Your phone's on, you feel the ghost vibration, oh, okay, you're waiting, when is this going to happen? I know this kid is coming, I don't know when it's going to happen, so you're always waiting, you're expecting, and you're pumped, but you also got to live, you got to go to work, but baby, and you're looking behind you, because when's the baby coming? In the middle of the night it's going to come, we just have no idea. Our kid was, how late was it? Oh, 5 days felt longer. But it was December 30th, and she's late. I'm talking to the baby in the womb. I'm like, listen, I need the tax break. You gotta come out. You gotta come on January 1st, or I'm smoked. And she came out. Got the tax break. So, but listen, the waiting is hard. That 3 months, and then every day after the due date was a nightmare. I go to work, and I'm just always trying to do stuff, but back in my mind, it's like, baby. Because you know it's coming. Now, that waiting, we are waiting for Christ to come back. We still have to live this life. It's got to be a person in the world. But we still have to keep in our mind, Jesus, whom I love, is going to return. And that matters. That changes the way I live. And I have to be ready. This is what he says. Listen, this is what he says to us next. Verse 42. He says, therefore, because you don't know when he's coming back, therefore, stay awake. For you do not know on what day your Lord is coming. But know this, that if the master of the house had known in what part of the night the thief was coming, he would have stayed awake and would not have let his house be broken into. Therefore, you also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Part of waiting is being alert. We must be alert as we wait. We must be alert as we wait. Now, I got a buddy of mine. And he lived in a nice town. And one night, he wakes up from his sleep, and he hears someone doing the doorknob of his house. He's got a wife, he's got a kid. He's like, someone could get in my house right now. It's like 2 a.m. He gets up, he's wearing, his man gear, chonies, no shirt. And he gets his shotgun out. And he goes downstairs. He gets by a hallway that comes from that back door. He just waits in the dark. He hears the door pop, the lock pops. The intruder comes in. And he just waits. And he told me this story. He goes, dude, I was smiling because I knew I had this guy. The guy was walking slowly in the darkness. And he doesn't know the house. He's trying to feel around. Where am I going? And the owner hears, he knows the cracks of his home. So he hears the guy cross the threshold of the hallway. So this guy comes into the room, and the owner with a shotgun pointed right at this guy. And the thief has no idea he's in the sights of a double barrel, dude. And this owner just goes, shh. Imagine hearing that sound in the darkness. You hear a shotgun racket, you're a thief. There's assumption. It's like, you hear that? I'm going to hell. It's going to happen right now. Like that sound is the end, right? That's why I was a little too far. I'm sorry. But there's silence, and the owner just goes, "You chose the wrong house, son. And the guy lays down, police are called, he pulls him there until the police come and arrest him. He was ready. When the bad guy came, he had that middle sleep going on. He woke up back at his home. Listen, Christ says, it's like owning a house. If you knew if he was coming, you'd be waiting, you'd be ready, you'd be prepared. In the same ways that, listen, you gotta be alert, waiting for Jesus to come back. You gotta be alert, you gotta be prepared for Christ to come back. As we wait for Christ to return, I'm going to read this last part. This is going to tell us where we're going. We got to be alert. We got to be alert and waiting for him with expectancy, with longing. I want him to come back. I am pumped that somebody's going to come back, and I hope it happens. But listen to this last story he tells. Who then is the faithful and wise servant whom his master has set over his household to give them their food in the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom his master will find so doing when he comes. What he says is this: the master leaves his home and leaves one of the servants in charge of everything. That servant does a good job. Let's say the master shows up and he comes from a long way off, stops, looks at the window, sees the servant being a good dude, feeding the animals, paying all these servants on their taking payday. He's being a good steward. He's like, that's my guy right there. He's doing a good job. You catch him doing it good. It says, blessed is that servant whom his master will find so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you, that he will set him over all his possessions. If he comes and finds that servant doing what he asked him to do, he's going to bless him. But if that wicked servant says to himself, my master is delayed, and begins to beat his fellow servants, and eats and drinks with the drunkards, the master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, at an hour he does not know, and will cut him in pieces and put him with the hypocrites. In that place there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And this is Jesus saying this. You're like, dang, Jesus. Like, he goes strong. Listen, we don't know how long we got to wait. We might live and die. Our kids might live and die, and Christ might not return. But while we wait, we must be alert, waiting for his arrival. Not only that, we cannot be wicked while we wait. We cannot become wicked while we wait. You heard the old saying, when the cat's away, the mice will play. I used to go to a restaurant, and when the owner didn't work, the employees all put their work schedule in neutral, right? The boss is gone, I'm being lazy. We thought, if the boss ain't here to catch me, I'm just going to be a chump the whole day. And I remember when I was in high school, I was a new believer, and I loved Christ so much. It was like this, the fire burned bright back then. So I want to invite everyone from my school to church. I was a huge nerd back in the day. And one day, me and my buddy went to people's houses in our neighborhood, and people from school, and invited. I was not a popular kid. I was going to popular kids' houses and invited them to church, which made my life even harder at school. But I did it anyway. And one girl from school, a popular kid, I remember inviting her to church. And I'll never forget what she said to me as a response. She's probably 15. She's super popular at school. She goes, listen, I'm young. I'm having fun. When I get older, I'll go ahead and maybe look at God. I'm going to sow my wild oats. When I'm done, then I'll come to God. Right now, I want to do my thing. It's very easy to say, you know what? I'm just waiting. I'm going to do my thing. I'll come to God later on. I'll repent later. I'll put down my sin later on. Or we think to ourselves, you know what? I don't know what we think. We think, is that going to catch us? I don't know. Listen, we all have things we did as kids our parents never caught us doing, right? We all have things our parents didn't catch us doing, right? Is that true? I'm not the only one that did this. Listen, our parents are not omnipresent. They're not everywhere. They can't see everything. And sometimes they believe our lies. My My kids are going to someday do things I don't know about. It's going to happen. And we think to ourselves, I tell my daughter, me and my son were driving, and the train track thing came down. And we're in Flint town. And I look at the new train. And I'm like, it's probably just broken. And I'm like, Ernesto, watch this plug. It's like, go into oncoming traffic, shoot up the road. And I'm like, there's no team, I'm doing this. So we shoot up the road, cut in the things, go around, and it was awesome. No, but listen, don't ever do that. Like, I could have killed us both because I'm stupid. But my son's like, Dad, is that illegal? I'm like, son, if you don't get caught, it's okay. That's terrible to say. Hey, listen, that advice bit me in the butt later. Dad didn't catch me. I'm like, oh, I told you that. Oh, listen, it ain't true. If I'm speeding and it'll pull me over, I'm clear. Listen, we can fool the cops, we can fool our parents, we can fool our spouses. God, we can't fool him. No. But a lot of us, when we're waiting, we're like, listen, God, I like my sin. Leave me alone. My master is delayed. I'm going to do what I want. And when I get older, when I get old and crusty, then I'll stop doing the bad stuff. That's crazy. Here's the thing I've learned. I'm almost 40, okay? I thought my sin nature, my thirst for sin, I thought it would get lesser over time. I thought, when I'm 20, I'm crazy. When I'm 40, I'm going to calm down. I still like sinning. Like, the thing is, that monster isn't going to sleep. It kind of scares me a little bit. When I'm 60, will it still be alive that strong and mean? Some guys are like, it's still that strong and mean. We can't become wicked while we wait. We can't say, you know what? He's not coming back. I'm just going to do my thing, and I'll repent later on. We don't know. I'll tell you this one last story. Before Angie, there was a girl I dated in college. Some of you guys have that other girl. That ended, left, moved on, got married, left was awesome. But as you knew, it was like a girl in the past. She who shall not be named.
Smart man.
Not Facebook friends, nothing. If you offended me, I'd be like, no, what was that? No, not ignore. Deny, ignore. Don't exist over. Well, this girl I used to date owned a company. Her family owned a company. I'm starting to live with my wife, and the church I worked for needed something her company built. I'm like, I know this girl might get a discount. So I just call the company up, 800 numbers. I don't call her. I'm not that stupid. I call the company. I'm like, this is the message picks up. I'm like, Pastor Ernesto Alaniz from this city. I need this kind of product. How much would it cost me? And I knew, like, what are you doing? Like, this is unwise. You know how your wife feel. But I'm like, it's funny. I just do it. Next day, you can't make this crap up. Next day, right? You get it. Next day, my wife is so sweet. Brings me lunch at the office. She comes to my office, brings me lunch. We're undoing the lunch. We get the plates out, the little plastic forks and knives. Get ready to pray for a meal, and the phone beeps. The secretary beeps my office. Beep. Ernesto, there's someone on the line for you. Says the name of the girl. Old girl is on line 2 for you. Like, I'm like, and I stopped. Like, the worst possible timing. Like, not like a salesman, the actual girl called, and they buzzed through it, and she's like, why is she calling you? And I'm like, I'm just caught. I'm like, and she came to the office at the exact moment that my stupidity came to fruition. And you know what it did? It caused hurt, distrust. Why'd you do that? I'm like, I don't know why I did that. I answer the phone, and she's staring at me like, hello. Good to talk to you too. Like, it was awful. My point to this is this. If we're living a life for ourselves, only for pleasure, giving no regard to the Lord we claim we love and serve, what if He came back and found us in the middle of our sin? The shame, the embarrassment. And I'm not saying it's hellfire, but Christ does teach later on that some of us will be saved like as if by fire, like barely make it. I'd rather be caught faithful than guilty. We don't know how short the time is. We don't know when we're going to die. There's a joke, and it's a joke that I'm laughing because it's like a joke. People say, listen, if you find me dead in my home, erase my browser history before my wife finds it. Listen, that shouldn't be your first thought. You should live a life that if you die, you're going to hide because you're not being psycho. We shouldn't become wicked while we wait. We should do what God expects and desires of us because we love Him so much. So, we don't know when He's coming back. We don't know how long we have to wait. And it's hard. I know it's hard. It's hard to be a person here and keep our heart in heaven. It is hard to do. We must be alert while we wait. We must stay awake while we're here. We must keep our head on our shoulders knowing, I know who I am. I know where I truly belong. This is not my home. Stay awake. Stay alert. And don't become wicked while you wait. Don't think, he's not coming back. I'm going to do my own thing. He's coming back. I'm actually grateful that my wife walked in the door when that thing all blew up. I learned a lesson. Like, be sure your sin will find you out. I live by that now. Now, as we close, as we're going to leave this place together, we have a special guest in the house today. A good friend of mine from the past, the Lombard family, is sitting almost in the back row. The Lombards, hold your hands up. This family, I've known for a long time. We went on our first mission trip together to, what was it, DR, Guatemala? Guatemala. That was a good trip, man. And a few years later, he's like, God's calling me to leave my American life and go serve the Lord to the least of these. And they now serve the Lord in Thailand. Did I say that out loud? Is that okay? Okay. How many people in Thailand, what percentage of people are Christians in Thailand? Less than 1%. And so they're out there serving. How old were your kids when you went to the time? How old were your kids when you went? 4, 6, and 9. Bring your 4-year-old, your 6-year-old daughter, 9-year-old, across the world to grow up. Here's what I'm going to do. We always say we're for Jesus, for Flint, for the kingdom. We say it all the time. Here's what we're going to do. Our church, starting this day, will officially start supporting the Lombard family. Also, I would like my house going to kill me for doing this, but I'm doing it anyway. Is Greg in the house? Greg, Nate, you're over there. Get a bucket, stand by the door. Bucket. We're going to give away half of our offering to the Lombards today. Whether you gave today, we're half to the Lombards to help in their mission in Thailand. If you didn't give it or want to give more on the way out, that bucket's all Lombard. That bucket's all there, okay? So half of it was already received. Half all the money is going to the Lombard family. For missions, because we're for Jesus, for Flint, for the kingdom. There are more Christians in Flint than there are in Thailand. Legit. So, if you want to give more to world missions on the way out, throw in the bucket. And all of it, I promise you, every dollar will go to the Lombards, and half our entire morning offering will go. So if you love the world and you love missions, you give to bless this family. So with that said, and also as you're leaving, do you have prayer cards or anything? No. Oh shoot! I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay, let's go ahead and pray, and we'll call it morning. God in heaven, thank you so much for the great, great day. Thank you for allowing me to witness one of your children follow in obedience and baptism. Thank you for your word that is true, that convicts us and reminds us of who you are and who we are in you. We long for your return. Come quickly, Lord Jesus. We thank you for the Lombards and their faithfulness to the work you've called them to. Let our small church here in Flint have a small part of that work you're doing through them in time. Love you very much, Jesus. Bless the day.